Hey, Trevor Matthews here with day 23 of my 30-day video challenge talking about training, education, and mentorship. Today I want to talk about virtual training and how it has blown up over the last couple years, especially since the pandemic. And I've been doing virtual training for many, many years now. So being the presenter as well as being the learner, and there is a lot to it. And as a presenter, there's a lot of things you need to know. I love in-person training, but I'm really loving virtual training sessions because it's a huge challenge as a trainer and it's a challenge as a learner. And what I love about it is that challenge, trying to get the learner to feel like it is an in-person event. There's so many different things that you need to know, and there's a lot of planning and preparation for a virtual training. It's not like an in-person where you can just walk in and throw up maybe your slides or have that conversation ready to go. There's a lot of planning, like technology planning for sure is one of the big things, because what happens if the power goes out in your house, like it happened to me 2 weeks ago? What do you do? So I was prepared. I had my cell phone ready. I started using data. I jumped right back on the call. But you need to plan and prepare for that. I read a great book called Virtual Training Guide by Cindy Huggett, and she's a virtual training consultant. If you don't know who she is and you're a virtual trainer, you should read some of her books, follow her, because she has a lot of great insight on how to make trainings interactive. For me, an in-person training is very easy to make it interactive. I can see if the people are getting bored or starting to nod off, and then I can change the topic. I can ask questions very quickly where somebody can respond. In a virtual session, it's a lot different. You ask a question and someone either has to put up their hand or maybe unmute themselves, or I need to mute them, or a moderator needs to unmute them. So there's a bigger process, and it takes a lot longer to share knowledge in a virtual session compared to in-person session. I do not recommend doing 7-8 hour trainings on virtual session. For me, it's not good for the learners. It's not good for the presenters, and it's really difficult to do to keep the interaction and the engagement for 8 hours straight. So I highly recommend, if you're a trainer, you split that up, break up the learning sessions to help those learners really grow. Keep the training super interactive. And that's what I love. It's way more challenging to keep a training interactive in the virtual session compared to in person, because you can be throwing questions out all the time. You can have flip charts, things like that. So in a virtual session, you can have polling questions, a whiteboard, annotate, breakout sessions, but you need a plan, I feel, a lot more for the virtual sessions. And highly recommend taking the time to plan and prepare. Another thing that I do in my virtual session is set expectations. You need to do this if you're a trainer as well. You need to understand the expectation if you're the learner, but as the trainer, you need to set expectation. This is kind of what we're going to learn. This is kind of the layout of the platform. You need to understand how the platform will work better than anyone else if you're the trainer, because there's Zoom, there's Teams, there's WebEx, there's so many different platforms. You need to understand how they work inside and out, and then you need to talk to your learners about that, how it works, what you want them to use in that platform. If you want to use raise hand, slow down, speed up, talk about the annotate if you're using that, the whiteboards, and explain what's going on, because there's lots of people that haven't been using these platforms. So you need to be the person that's setting those expectations. One of the things that else I really like about it is finding new people globally. Like now I can talk and train to people all over the world. They don't have to fly into one location, and I can speak to them then and there and meet them where they're at, which is really cool. Another thing I missed about setting expectations, you need to talk to the learners about where their learning environment is. Like, they need a quiet space, they need a pen and paper, they need to understand how to mute themselves, how to turn on their videos, all these different things, and setting up those expectations to have a better learning program. And I love doing virtual training. I love doing in-person training, don't get me wrong, but the challenge of virtual training is great for me because it's making me get better at teaching and educating people virtually. And that means I can reach more people. And that's my whole goal, is to help more and more people and give more people access to my knowledge. So I'd love to hear what you think about virtual training. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Do you learn from it? Do you not learn from it? Does it depend on the trainer? Depend on the training itself? Shoot it in the comments. My name is Trevor Matthews. Let's get a conversation going.